When casino gets taught, one of the most overlooked topics is also one of the most fundamental and useful, and that's the concept of frame. So in partner dancing, frame refers to the way that a dancer holds their upper body relative to the rest of their body and relative to their partner. And that tension and connection gets used so that leading and following can happen. So in this video, we're going to explore that and then dive a little deeper and see what else frame can teach us about dancing casino. The first thing that frame teaches us is connection. Before I connect with my partner, I've got to connect my upper body with itself. So if this is roughly going to be my posture in closed position, I've got to make sure that the arm on my open side is connected with my torso, which is connected with the arm on my closed side. And if anything moves up top, it all moves as one unit. I'm not crossing my arms in front of my chest. It would make me break frame and I'd lose connection with my partner. If my arms do move, they're moving as an extension of my torso, which is an extension of my frame. When I'm partnered up, it's important that my chest and her chest are square. My right hand is flat on her back. Her left arm can rest entirely on my right arm, and her left hand is just resting on my shoulder as high as it'll reach. On the other side, we're palm to palm, my left hand and her right hand, arms at a comfortable height. It's really important to note that the connection is a strong connection, but it's a light connection. So when her arm's resting on my right arm, she's not weighing me down. I'm not grabbing onto her, she's not grabbing onto my shoulder. It's a strong and light connection. So that's close position when the follow's in front of the lead. But eventually I'm going to take her over to my right and to my left. And in order to maintain frame when she's in both of those positions, I need to be sure that I'm at the right distance. So we can find that using closed position. I'm just going to open up like a book where the spine's either on the closed side or the open side, so I can find the right distance for each. If I want to find the distance she should be at when she's on my right, we just open up from where we connect with my right arm and her left arm. If I want to find out the distance she should be when she's on my left, we just open up from the connection point of my left hand and her right hand. Now that we've got a rough idea of the positions, it's time to go over something very important.
This is a follow. This is a lead. So far, we've had the follow in front of the lead, to the right of the lead, and to the left of the lead. And these are the three positions that we're going to reference in order to learn casino. But before we get into basic steps and turns, there's one thing to keep in mind. The positions are determined by the follow's location relative to the lead. See, the lead's like a compass, and like a broken compass, because whatever way the lead's facing, that's north, and that determines which way is forward for the couple. So right now, if the follow's on the lead's left, and we want to get her back to the right, we can either move the follow, we can move the lead, or we can move both. And that gets complicated. So for now, we're going to have the lead face one direction for all of these drills that we're about to do. It can be a mirror, a wall, a big wooden garage door, for example. And we're going to start off with the follow in front of the lead. We're going to do a basic step. We're going to take her to the right, learn the basic step, take her over to the left, learn the basic step there, and then bring her back in front of us. In future videos, we'll get the lead moving around a little bit more and make it more like a social dance, but for now, we'll just keep it simple.
Now that we have a more full understanding of the positions, all casino comes down to is dancing within those positions or moving through them, using the connection that we talked about in the first part of the video. Sometimes lead will only have physical contact with one arm, sometimes both. But no matter what, it's important to remember that our upper body is effectively all one piece. So everything that we lead, we're leading it with our entire frame. The follows likewise need to keep a similar amount of tension in their upper body so that they can feel our lead. The way we dance within one position is by using basic steps. Whether the follow is in front of us, on our right, or on our left, each of those positions has its own basic. Remember, the lead should be able to look at the follow, and there will be some movement within the steps themselves, but overall it's important that he keeps the orientation to a single direction forward, or north like we said earlier. When we film the steps of this video, we use the large wooden garage door as our north. The steps we'll be using here are derived from warm-up steps, which are detailed in another video that goes over some basic timing and explains the cadence of the steps in casino. So if you don't have that under your belt yet, you may want to check out that video before you try to grab onto any of this footwork. But if you're ready to go, all these steps will be shown a tiempo, stepping on 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. The lead's first step with the left foot, follows first step with the right foot. So let's start from closed position with the follow in front of us. The basic step that we'll be using here is called paso son. The lead and follow are both stepping in place for the quick steps, and then out to the side for the slow step. Then in place again for the quick steps, and out to the other side for the slow step. The lead can use his frame to move the follow's torso side to side in accordance with the steps. The torso should always follow whatever foot is stepping. When the follow is on the right, the basic step here finds the lead and follow using different sets of footwork from one another. The follow is using a walking and pivoting step. She starts off facing north, steps in place, forward and forward again, pivoting through the slow beat, facing the other direction, the same thing, in place, forward, forward, and pivoting through the slow beat to face north again. It's the lead's responsibility to guide her through these steps using his entire torso, not just the left arm. You can help fine-tune the pivots by using your right hand. For the footwork, the leads are using the cross-side step, where the first step is towards the north with the left foot, but then immediately pivoting back to the middle and then crossing over on 3, then stepping away from the north with the right foot on 5, pivoting back immediately to the middle, and then crossing over on the slow beat 7. When the follow's on the left, the basic step is called a guapea. It has its own unique footwork. You can put some variation onto it, but this is a good general guideline. The steps are symmetrical, so the lead and follow are doing the same footwork as one another, just mirror image. A good starting position for guapea has the partners with their hips and chest facing forward, their near foot pointed at one another, and their weight shifted away from each other. The first step is with the near foot underneath their center, fully changing the weight. The second step is towards the north, and then together on 3, fully changing the weight. At this point, there should be no weight on the lead's right foot or follow's left foot. They step at each other on 5, still facing each other. They step away from the north on 6, and only on 7 does the lead push on the follow's hand so that they both open up to the same starting position as the beginning of the step. We now have the basic steps that will allow us to dance within each of the 3 positions, and it's time to start learning some simple turns that'll get us moving from one position to another. To take the follow to the lead's right-hand side from the closed position, the couple does a half basic of paso son. Then on count 4, the lead can start to pull the follow to walk forward, away from the north, 3 steps, and then a pivot to face forward. The lead's footwork is a half basic of paso son, where he pauses on the left foot, and then a back and forward step from the warm-up sequence, where he uses the step to move forward. By the end of the 8 counts, both dancers should be facing forward, maintaining frame. They can either transition into a basic step for when the follow is on the lead's right, or perform our next move, dile. Dile moves the follow from the lead's right-hand side to in front over to the left across 8 counts. The follow's first step of dile is in place or a little bit back with the right foot, with the next 2 steps forward, ending in a pivot so that the follow's toes are pointed outside of the lead's left foot by count 4. The lead can help guide how much the follow pivots by using his right arm, an extension of his frame, of course. During this time, the lead is doing the traveling forward and back step to move backwards. For the first 3 counts, overall the lead is moving backwards while the follow moves forwards. On the second half of the count, the follow is moving to the lead's left while the lead is moving to his right. The lead moves to his right using the back cross step from the warm-up video. Then by the end of the count, pivots to face his follow so that his feet are situated as they were in the beginning of guapea. The follow for the last part of the count walks forward with the left foot, the right foot, and then pivots open to land on her left foot with her feet situated just as they were in the beginning of guapea. The lead can give a push on count 5 to get the follow to walk forward, but after that the contact stops, and it's the motion of the lead's right shoulder against the follow's left arm that helps her pivot open. The only physical contact now is the lead's left hand and follow's right hand, so it's important to maintain frame. In the count following dile, there should be enough tension and connection between the dancers so that the lead can lead basic steps or turns. Speaking of turns, here's enchufla. Enchufla is characterized by the follow walking 3 steps and a pivot. How much or how little the follow pivots depends on where the lead points the follow's forearm. The first 4 counts of enchufla have the follow doing a walking and pivoting step straight out of the warm-up video, 3 steps and then a pivot over her left shoulder. The lead uses a back cross step for the first half of the count, moving slightly to his left and then pivoting enough to maintain connection with his follow. He should raise the arm enough to allow for the walk and pivot and lower it pointed in the direction he wants her to face. There are any number of turn options after the first 4 counts of enchufla, but most commonly, the lead can just take the follow to his right. The follow's footwork for this is another walking and pivoting step, where she takes 3 steps away from the north and then pivots to face forward. This is led by the lead pulling her forearm to his right-hand side and then pointing it north. Just like when we took the follow to our right-hand side from closed position, the footwork is a back and forward step using the footwork to move forward. The lead's right arm shouldn't contact the follow until he brings her all the way to his right-hand side, no sooner than count 7, and then she can pick up her left arm and put it back on his shoulder. Another option after enchufla is leaving the follow in front of the lead and taking her back in the closed position. The first 4 counts of enchufla remain the same. The only difference is that instead of pointing the follow's arm to his right-hand side, the lead can leave the arm up as if they were in closed position and then put his right arm around the follow, at which point she can put her left arm on his shoulder. The footwork for the last half of the count, if the lead takes the follow back in the closed position, would be paso son for both the lead and the follow.